The novel begins with the narrator, Nick Carraway, explaining his background and how he came to live in West Egg, Long Island, during the summer of 1922. Nick provides insights into his values, emphasizing his father's advice to avoid being judgmental, which shapes his perspective throughout the story. Nick is a Yale graduate and World War I veteran who moves to New York to learn about the bond business. His experiences and connections in New York's financial sector expose him to the decadence and moral ambiguity of the era. Nick lives next door to a mysterious and wealthy man named Jay Gatsby, who throws extravagant parties every Saturday night. These parties are the talk of the town, attracting a wide array of guests from different social strata, all curious about their enigmatic host. Gatsby is known for his immense wealth and the lavish lifestyle he leads, though little is known about his background or how he acquired his fortune. Rumors swirl around Gatsby, ranging from speculations about him being a German spy to being a murderer, adding to his mystique. Across the bay in East Egg lived Nick's cousin, Daisy Buchanan, and her wealthy, arrogant husband, Tom Buchanan. East Egg represents old money and traditional social hierarchies, contrasting sharply with the more nouveau riche West Egg. Nick visits them early in the novel, where he meets Jordan Baker, a professional golfer and a friend of Daisy's. Jordan's cool demeanor and ambiguous morality mirror the world of privilege and carelessness that Daisy and Tom inhabit. Nick receives an invitation to one of Gatsby's parties. He attends and is amazed by the opulence and the sheer number of guests, many of whom have no real connection to Gatsby. The parties are filled with excess, featuring live music, copious amounts of alcohol, and a sense of uninhibited revelry. At the party, Nick meets Gatsby for the first time and learns that he is a gracious and charming host. Despite the chaos of the gatherings, Gatsby maintains an air of aloofness and mystery, further intriguing Nick. Gatsby reveals to Nick that he is in love with Daisy Buchanan and has been in love with her for years. Their love affair began before the war, and Gatsby has idealized Daisy ever since, constructing his entire life around the hope of rekindling their romance. He bought his mansion in West Egg solely to be near her and hopes that she will attend one of his parties. Gatsby's obsessive love for Daisy drives his every action, symbolizing the broader theme of unattainable dreams. Gatsby asks Nick to help him arrange a reunion with Daisy. Nick, sympathetic to Gatsby's longing and romanticism, agrees to facilitate their meeting. Nick invites Daisy to his house for tea without telling her that Gatsby will be there. When Daisy arrives and sees Gatsby, she is initially shocked, but soon the two are reminiscing about their past love affair. Their reunion is filled with a mix of joy and tension, as they navigate the emotions and memories that resurface. Their romance is rekindled. The encounter marks the beginning of Gatsby's hope that he can recreate the past and fulfill his dream of being with Daisy. Through a series of conversations, Nick learns about Gatsby's past. The revelations about Gatsby's background add depth to his character, painting a picture of a man driven by ambition and the desire to transcend his humble origins. Gatsby, born James Gatz, came from a poor family in North Dakota. He worked for a wealthy man, Dan Cody, who taught him about the life of the rich. Cody's mentorship played a pivotal role in shaping Gatsby's aspirations and his relentless pursuit of wealth. Gatsby then earned his fortune through dubious means, likely involving organized crime. This darker side of Gatsby's success highlights the moral complexities and compromises inherent in his quest for the American dream. Tensions rise when Tom becomes suspicious of Daisy's relationship with Gatsby. Tom's jealousy and possessiveness become evident as he seeks to undermine Gatsby and assert his own dominance. During a lunch at the Buchanan's home, Tom realizes that Gatsby and Daisy are in love. Tom's growing hostility and aggression foreshadow the explosive confrontation to come. He confronts Gatsby in a heated argument, accusing him of being a bootlegger and questioning his character. Tom's attacks aim to discredit Gatsby and reassert his own social superiority. The confrontation culminates in a dramatic scene at the Plaza Hotel in New York City. The tension between the characters reaches its peak in this climactic moment, exposing their deepest insecurities and desires. Tom openly mocks Gatsby. On the way back from the city, Daisy is driving Gatsby's car when she accidentally hits and kills Myrtle Wilson, Tom's mistress. The accident is a tragic twist that sets off a series of devastating events, marking the beginning of the end for Gatsby. Gatsby takes the blame for the accident to protect Daisy. His willingness to sacrifice himself for Daisy underscores his unwavering devotion and tragic idealism. The event sets off a chain of tragic events. The repercussions of Myrtle's death ripple through the lives of all the characters, leading to further tragedy and destruction. George Wilson, Myrtle's husband, is devastated by her death and believes that the owner of the yellow car, Gatsby, is responsible. George's grief and desire for vengeance drive him to desperate actions. Tom deceitfully tells George that Gatsby was driving the car, knowing it will lead to Gatsby's downfall. Tom's manipulation and deceit highlight his callousness and willingness to destroy Gatsby to protect himself. George Wilson tracks Gatsby to his mansion and shoots him while he is lounging in his pool. Gatsby's death is a stark and tragic end to his dream, symbolizing the ultimate failure of his aspirations and the futility of his efforts to change his destiny. Wilson then kills himself. The double tragedy of Gatsby's and Wilson's deaths underscores the destructive consequences of the characters' actions in the novel's themes of loss and disillusionment. Nick finds Gatsby's body and is deeply affected by the tragedy. Nick's sorrow and disillusionment reflect the profound impact of Gatsby's demise on his understanding of the world around him. Despite Gatsby's popularity and the many people who attended his parties, almost no one comes to his funeral. The stark contrast between the opulence of Gatsby's life and the loneliness of his death reveals the superficiality of the society that surrounded him. Nick arranges the funeral and is disillusioned by the superficiality and hypocrisy of the people who surrounded Gatsby. The emptiness of Gatsby's social circle is a poignant commentary on the hollowness of the American dream as portrayed in the novel. Nick becomes increasingly disenchanted with the East Coast and its lifestyle. His experiences lead him to question the values and ethics of the society he has been part of. He breaks off his relationship with Jordan Baker and decides to return to the Midwest. Nick's decision to leave reflects his desire to return to a simpler, more genuine way of life. He reflects on the moral decay and emptiness of the society he has witnessed. Nick's reflections offer a critique of the decadence and moral failings of the Jazz Age. The novel ends with Nick contemplating Gatsby's dream of a better future and the American dream's allure. Nick's final thoughts underscore the novel's central themes of aspiration, disillusionment, and the passage of time. He muses about the green light at the end of Daisy's dock, symbolizing Gatsby's hopes and dreams, and concludes that Gatsby's extraordinary gift for hope made him great but ultimately led to his downfall. The green light becomes a powerful symbol of unattainable dreams and the relentless pursuit of an idealized past, encapsulating the tragic essence of Gatsby's story. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. This will help ensure we are able to bring you more content like this in the future, as you increase your own literary knowledge. If this summary has inspired you to read the book, check the video description for further links.